believe all that stuff is behind us, and how that relates to what your message is today.
Equating the People's Convoy with what we're doing. We came out of the People's Convoy, but that was the message of the People's Convoy. We're a totally separate movement. We've grown from that message that we actually want a restoration of a constitutional republic and a restoring of a moral America. You can't have a constitutional republic without a moral America. And the reason I say that is because when they presented the Constitution to those people back in 1791, they were actually fearful that they couldn't keep a constitutional republic because they didn't feel that they were moral enough to do so. So we let our moral society slip to the place where we're losing our. And the reason I say that is because the more immoral a society becomes, the Bible says the law is for the lawless. So without lawless people, you wouldn't need law. Moral people are not lawless. So the more immoral we become, the more laws that are needed in order to control the lawlessness. And the more laws that are created, the less freedom those individuals have. So you can't have a truly free constitutional republic without a moral America. People that are respectful of each other, people that respect each other's rights, and give each other the dignity to pursue the life that they want to pursue.
So is it safe to assume that your guys' topics or mission also includes the abortion debate?
Actually, the abortion debate, I believe, is going perfectly this last week. It went back to the states, which is exactly what I want. I don't want a federal government making laws that affects all 50 states. The Constitution, the size of the city, or scope of the city, proves that we're not a constitutional republic anymore, because when that Constitution was founded, the federal government was never supposed to be this large. And the reason that is because a state has the right to create whatever kind of laws they want, whatever kind of society they want. They have a right to do that. If I'm in that state and I don't agree with it, then I can try to redress my grievances to that state legislature. If I can't get those changed, then I have the right to move to another state that more closely aligns with my belief system. That is a constitutional republic with a small federal government. The problem with that is if the federal government gets so large, when they make a law, or all these bureaucracies around here, the agencies that are working underneath those federal offices, when they make a law, it affects all 50 states. If I don't like those laws, they clash with my moral beliefs. Where do I move? So the federal government it was never supposed to be this big for that very reason. We've inverted the system, the hierarchy of the system of government that we had from the Constitution inception. It has to be re-inverted back to where the federal government is. They actually, in the beginning, they advised the states. That's all they done. They took care of national security, and they were the last redress. If a person thought their state had violated their constitutional rights, then they could appeal it all the way up to the Supreme Court, who would make the final decision on that. So we have to have, in order to have true freedom, we have to have a small federal government, and then our state governments have to have their sovereignty. And what's going on now is we have, from everybody's paycheck, the state income tax is rather small, the local income tax is even smaller, but the federal income tax is coming here. And they're using that money to control our states. For example, Montana back a few years ago said they didn't want any speed limits. And the federal government steps in and says, yeah, you're going to have speed limits. They said, no, we're not going to have speed limits. They said, well, then you're not going to get any money for your road repairs. See what I'm saying? That is not the job of the federal government to dictate to that state that they have to have speed limits. Every state is supposed to have its own sovereignty. We are not a constitutional republic, as much as we say we are, and we still have the Constitution. That's still there, but we're not abiding by it. And that's why we're here. We want to have a true constitutional republic, because if California wants to do whatever California does, then they can do that. And all these federal agencies, they should exist, but not at a federal level. They should exist at a state level. Because the cookie cutter approach, when they come out and say, this is the law of the land coming from the FDA or from the EPA or from the DOT, this is the law of the land. That may work well in New Jersey, but it sucks in Utah. And it really sucks in Mississippi, let's say. But if those agencies were all at a state level, then they could actually address what is actually needed. in that particular state, and it wouldn't conflict with any other state. And if it did, the other states wouldn't have to abide by it because it's just relegated to that state and that state alone.
Let me ask you just a couple more questions. I appreciate your time. I should know this. Where are you from?
I'm from Southern Ohio.
And how long you? When did you get here this latest time? And how long do you plan to stay?
We came to DC last Wednesday.
Okay.
How long do we plan to stay? I wish I could tell you the answer to that. I really don't know. But I've actually been protesting. Wednesday will be 18 weeks straight. So I've seen my family one time since then.
I'm sorry for that, but I appreciate your time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go call my news and tell you it's WUSA 9. So you got my card, so you find it on the Okay. I'll be right back. I'm supposed to call in.
Now I got something for you.
What's that?
Grab your camera and come with me. Now leave that there. Leave that here. Come with me.
What are you doing?
You'll see. You're gonna like this.
I tend to like everything that happens to me, including the bad shit. So,
Well, you can't have good shit without bad shit.
damn right.
So you gotta love all shit.
Trying to off the car.
Okay. Now, let's see. I gotta find it. It's in here somewhere. All right, y'all. I'm going to end this stream. I'll be back in a little bit.